Hey everyone, welcome to Daily Revelations. So we're going to be doing this a little different for a couple days because I accidentally left my microphone at my beach house. So we got to be in my office this week and probably next week for these videos. So we are on Nehemiah 5 this week, which is exciting because we are diving into kind of the meat now of Nehemiah. The work started, and you think that that's the meat, but it uncovered something, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So what did it uncover? Well, it uncovered something that had been happening for 100 years. So when the Jerusalem was taken over and other kings came in, they charged taxes to the people, and heavy taxes, because that land was now theirs and they were going to get the benefit of it. So they put governors over the areas and said, extract as much money as you can from these people, and that way we will get something out of this as well as their people. Problem is they kept doing it and not realizing it was completely against God's law, and it became a way of life. Which unfortunately, a lot of things that we think, oh, well, we've done it this way all the time, it must be the right way to do it. Doesn't always mean that way. And that is why Nehemiah got angry. So I want to take you back to Ezra, give you a little bit of history there, and hopefully that'll make a little more sense of why he was so upset about that. So in in Ezra 4, it talks about that the surrounding countries just said, oh, don't be lenient on these Jews. Once they rebuild their temple, once they rebuild their wall, they're not going to pay you anything. They're going to turn on you. And so they sent a letter to the king. And at the end of Ezra 4, we see that their letter to the king was effective enough. The king said, oh no, stop the work, because Ezra is all about the work that's done in the temple. So the temple work stopped. And there is this gap in the book of Ezra, if you've never read it before, 60 years between Ezra 6 and Ezra 7. And that is when Ezra himself actually came out to help finish the rebuilding of the temple. And the king at that time had sent him, and it was completely God's doing to rebuild the temple at that time. But there was a decree, and unfortunately, they really did not do anything about the money issue. And so Ezra did tell them not to impose a tax on the priests, the Levites, and all of those people, but he didn't really go beyond that point. And so this tax that had been in place really stayed in place. He had other big issues to deal with. He just wanted to make sure the temple was built, and therefore the temple workers shouldn't be taxed. And that's where that story ended. So my next video for today, which I'll get to in just a minute, it will be about the God's law and the taxation and what he actually said way back when, and why Nehemiah was upset about it. So I hope that gives you a little understanding of what was going on during Ezra's time and the rebuilding of the temple. And so now when the wall is being rebuilt, this is all coming back up again. This has been going on for 100 years. And the people just thought, well, this is the normal way of life. And oftentimes we do that same thing as, oh, this is the way we've always done it. But does it check with God's word? And can we say that is the right way to do it versus this is the way we've done it all the time? So something to think about. Anyways, thanks for joining me for Daily Revelations.